Hello, good morning, and welcome to What Culture Gaming. I'm Rich. I'm joined by Scott.
Hi.
And Jules and Josh.
Hello.
Everyone make loud noises because Josh is hungover.
I think Jules is too.
Jules is so hungover.
Okay.
So last night, other than being our office Christmas party, it was the Game Awards, which of course Josh and Scott did their predictions for a week or so ago, and they were pretty good. And it was quite an interesting event with lots of big announcements. Scott came into the office today like it's Christmas morning,
Mate,
and he got everything on his list. But before we touch any of the big announcements, let's talk about the actual awards.
Okay.
Yep. So, Game of the Year, take a guess.
It was, I'm glad that it was the game of the year. So yeah, that's always a good thing.
You should probably say what it is before you say that you
can't
agree
believe
with
Well, I'm leading into it, aren't I? I mean, it's Breath of the Wild, isn't it? Breath of the Wild. It's only ever going to be Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
It is the game of the year. It's the game of the decade. It's the best game of all time. Carry on.
Okay,
I like that game a lot.
there were loads and loads of awards last night. We're not going to cover all of them because there's a lot of really obscure ones, best student game, best Chinese game, and all sorts of things. But there were quite a few games that got numerous awards, and some games that got absolute jack shit.
It's weird because you were saying before we realised that Horizon didn't get anything.
Horizon got nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nominated for Best Narrative, which they gave to What Remains of Edith Finch, which makes Josh very happy. I mean,
That was your prediction though, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Which, I mean, what do you think's the big takeaway from Edith Finch? Like, why do you think it deserves this?
Because it's just such a powerful personal story, Scott. It had such a...
Don't talk to me, mate. Talk to the crowd.
The crowd. It was just so... It was such a powerful personal story. It had so much to say about the way we tell stories, the way narratives impact our life, and you get to fall down a hill as a shark, which was awesome.
It's
And that
interesting.
was-
You've just said that, and I would have said that you could have easily been talking about Horizon with that.
Till the shark bit.
This is much more overtly about those, because like Horizon, we talked about this before, but Horizon is about a lot of things, I would say. It rarely focuses in on one specific thing, you know what I mean?
It's almost like you're saying
I
it's the
would
best
say-
narrative
What?
and not the best story. It's almost like there's multiple things to it. It's almost like Horizon's more worthy than Edith Finch.
I don't think so.
Okay, moving on.
Disgruntled.
Anyway,
Disgruntled.
Best art direction, Cuphead.
That's an
That was a
obvious-
shoe-in.
was-
Yeah,
that was
I mean,
a complete
that
shoe-in.
had to win.
I mean, Cuphead, Zelda, and Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice have all walked away last night with 3 awards each.
Melina Jurgens got Best Actress, which is
That's
another one of
good.
our
I was a
predictions.
bit disappointed with that, actually.
Really?
because I reckon that Ashley Birch should have won that.
I would say so.
She's your crush, though, isn't she?
Yeah, so,
So,
But Jurgens was what, a video editor for
Yep,
Ninja
yep.
Theory, and like she like stepped up and took on the role, and
I
like
think they
know.
did some initial bits and bobs with her in the position in planning to hire somebody else in, and obviously in the end they decided to stick with that.
I mean, Ashley Birch is so good, but the Melina Jurgens' performance in Hellblade is so focused on her.
Yeah.
Like, she carries that game. There are barely any other characters in that, and without a great central performance, that would have just
I'm
been
sure one
disappointing.
of the like little facts with Hellblade is that she's in every shot. I'm sure that's the whole crack with that
Oh,
game.
yeah.
I mean, I haven't
Really?
played through it, but I think she's in. I think she's in everything. And yeah, her face. There's a whole load of really intense scenes where she's screaming and breaking down, and it's really close up on her. Yeah, for me, like she's very much the critic's choice. But yeah, I think she completely deserves it.
Okay, so one that didn't go to Cuphead, best score and music went to Nier.
I actually think that's fine.
I can
think
live with that.
Yeah, I think Nier had a really good soundtrack. It was it was
Pascal's
very,
Village.
Yeah, it was very odd, very odd music. It gave me lots of flashbacks to early Final Fantasy games.
Oh, okay.
For obvious reasons, because it was a Square Enix title.
I think the way that they use the score is way more part of the game. Like
But it was just
Cuphead
that
is great.
when you
but-
talked about Pascal's Village, I just kept on thinking of like Besaid, like back from Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Not these same things, but it's just like that same tonal sort of friendliness.
Yeah,
to it. It's just
yeah, yeah.
nice. It's a charming game.
But you have stuff like that, like they need to connote that Pascal has this lush like innocence to him in the village and everything, and then like when you play as 9S and you're like all the 8-bit sections, like I can get that.
I wouldn't say that Cuphead is fantastic, and the jazz score that they recorded for it is great. But
Yeah.
I have this is gonna sound really wanky, but I've had a lot of my music friends sort of talk about it quite a lot, and they're saying that it's the basic type of jazz. Like it's good, but
Are they jazz people? Though?
They are jazz people.
I mean, I've got jazz
yeah.
mates too. They're not gonna.
Yeah.
Unless it was just 8 minutes of silence and one little. Like they're not gonna know.
So yeah, I'm happy to see Nier win.
Good. So this is one that Scott and I have already had a bit of debate on, which is best ongoing game. So obviously a title that's been out, but they keep pumping out updates to it, and that went to Overwatch.
Now,
I'm not happy with that.
No,
actually.
it's
Should've
because
got to
there
Baroness.
was Player Unknown was was one of the nominees, as was GTA Online and Warframe.
Destiny 2, weirdly.
Destiny 2, which shouldn't be.
But I mean, come on,
really.
like they literally say in their stipulation that this is awarded for for a developer that supplies a constant stream of content, and it's like, yeah, Overwatch.
Maybe that isn't PlayerUnknown's then, because they do.
No,
it's still it's
GTA and it's Warframe.
Yeah,
like,
GTA is definitely the one. The GTA and Warframe have both been really good this year.
They announced a new heist last night, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like they're still trickling out stuff for it.
Yeah.
But it's like Overwatch has
is it 2 years now since it was released? Or was it a year and a half?
GTA 5 was 2013.
Yeah, 2013.
So
online didn't come out straight away.
Oh, no, true. Yeah, 2013.
Online must have been like a year later. So about 3 years.
Still,
then, I guess.
though.
I mean, that's still doing really well.
These aren't small updates either. I mean, a new heist is a big thing. We waited so long
because they throw in weapons and vehicles and all sorts of stuff, don't they?
Because like Overwatch has like skins and new and seasonal levels and you know whatever, but it's nothing compared to GTA Online.
The thing is though, with Overwatch, they have been keeping up these updates. They've been adding in the new maps and adding in new heroes and stuff like that. So I can see it being nominated, fine, but I don't think it should have won.
I mean, if you boil down everything that Overwatch has done, nothing mechanically has changed, has it? It's just that adding in new
They've
heroes
refined
and
some
things.
stuff.
They've refined it, but it's like GTA.
Yeah, they do their buffs and their nerfs.
I would have said the
stuff like
GTA would have got my vote just because the amount of content that is different each and every time they put it in.
Next up, the best action game, Wolfenstein 2.
I'm not happy with that.
What?
I'm not happy with that at all. Like,
Pure action.
I mean,
No.
As we discussed before in a previous video that isn't actually out.
It's not
It'll be out
yet,
soon.
but it will be.
It'll be out soon. It's a game of two halves, and the second half is a fantastic action title, but the first half is just not. No.
I mean, with that, on the flip side to that, best action adventure game was Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
so
I can see that.
it wasn't
My
like
boy.
you know that wasn't up against like Zelda and stuff.
Just
I can't
quick
think
one.
what it was up
Who
against.
was nominated for the action titles? I know Prey was in there. So
Was right. So it's
nominated for the action-
Wolfenstein 2,
Yeah.
Cuphead, Neo, Destiny 2, and Prey.
Well, no offense. Like, I know that you like Prey
No, but-
quite a lot, but still, I would say that the only two real competitors in that would be Destiny 2 and Wolfenstein, because like Neo is a fine game.
Mate, Neo's
I'm just
brilliant.
interested that they put Cuphead in as best action game. Like when you
Yeah, I don't think that.
when you put it up against the rest of the nominees, it seems really quite strange.
Neo
with it.
is right up there with Souls. Like Neo is meticulously balanced. It's an incredible game. It's been so overlooked. Everyone's like, oh, it's just Samurai Souls. It's not. It's the only game that takes that as a framework and actually does something with it. The way it does its loot grind, the way it brings other players in, like the way that you progress in that game, the way you can customize your character. That game is brilliant. It's so overlooked, man.
I mean,
it's so annoying.
I'm just spinning out there. I would have put Nier in that category
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
Like,
Nier
I
would
put
fit
it-
better,
The
yeah.
amount of like gameplay stylistic changes that it does, like that's definitely an action title. It's a spectacle fighter, effectively.
The whole three genres in one thing from
Yeah,
Nier, like
yeah.
that kind of redefines how to even do that stuff.
I love Prey so much, and I don't know why it's really in there. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
It does seem like the odd one out. Well,
Yeah.
apart from Cuphead.
Yeah.
Apart from Cuphead.
It's just a strange. That's a really strange category. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Best role-playing game, Persona 5.
I'm very happy with
Yeah.
that, and it's much deserved. I feel like it's still being underlooked, even though it's everywhere at the moment.
Yeah.
Like it's weird seeing Persona 5 and Sonic Forces. That weirds me out. That you can
Oh, the
download-
little costumes,
Yeah, you can
yeah.
download costumes. but fair
Up
play.
against it were South Park, Final Fantasy 15, Divinity Original Sin 2, Nier Automata.
To be fair though, Divinity 2 is absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Like,
That's an
I
old
would-
school RPG.
I would have been happy to see that win as well.
I haven't
Same.
played it, but everyone tells me it's the best thing. It's the
great.
second coming of Christ. That's what
Persona 5, like, as an RPG, is incredibly solid.
Yeah.
Like, especially presentation-wise.
Best fighting game, Injustice 2.
Yeah, of course. it
Surprise,
would be.
surprise.
Of
Up
course it would be.
against Tekken 7, Nidhogg 2, Marvel vs. Capcom
Wait,
Infinite,
sorry,
and
Nidhogg
Arms.
2 in the fighting.
Nidhogg's a
Yeah.
gorgeous game.
Yeah, no, I know. It is.
Perfect.
Well, no. Refine that. It is not a gorgeous game.
I meant how it plays.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game, but it looks like arse.
It does look like well, the new one looks
It
weird.
does look like
yeah.
looks like arse.
Yeah.
The first one's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, best strategy game, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom
Now, see,
Battle.
so I'm really annoyed
which
about this one because I
beats
know that when
XCOM 2.
XCOM 2 is
I don't know, I mean, I don't even-
It is the superior strategy game in every sense.
Not every sense.
XCOM 2 plus the War of the Chosen, you do not need
That
another
was what it was,
strategy
was
game.
XCOM 2 War of the Chosen
Yeah,
specifically.
that was right. Okay,
nominated.
they added in so much. You had like 3 new like main enemies you had to fight, like new procedurally generated stuff, new weapons, new armor class types, sort of things, and it was just like you could nerd into such detail,
But-
and you got so f***ed off when your people died.
But can you jump on their heads?
no, you can't.
What else
I
do you
mean,
need? Although, while we're here, check out our video. We did a versus video, XCOM versus Mario, that did bugger all views. So check that out because that delves into why both the games can go up against each other.
And sort of
Mario's really good too.
just before we get to the last one we're going to talk about now, best multiplayer wasn't announced last night.
I think it's going to be Pubg.
And I don't know why. I've tried to look as to why it wasn't announced, but it wasn't announced. And there's like 6 nominees for that. There is Fortnite, Call of Duty World War 2, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe,
wouldn't qualify.
Destiny 2, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
I think
it's going to go to Pubg.
Pubg
it's going to go to
Destiny
Pubg.
It has to. What, really? Destiny 2?
If you look at the hour counts on Destiny 2, like I'm not justifying Destiny 2's horrific grind. I think that the core of that game plays very well, and hence why the average player count is literally about 500 hours per player. Like people invest so much in that
If you think
game.
about what multiplayer game has completely dominated the industry this year,
No, true. But if I'm talking about what the critics are going to go for, there's the whole argument about Pubg not being finished, blah 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 blah. So whatever, I can see Destiny.
I would like to see Pubg win, but if not, and my personal choice out of that list would be Splatoon 2.
Oh, I love Splatoon.
It's a really, really good online.
I mean, I'm happy with it. It could go to Fortnite though. I think Fortnite.
Imagine if Fortnite wins over Pubg.
Yeah,
that'd just be a kick in the face.
Yeah,
but then again, Fortnite's in the same position because it's still early access. Isn't it? So,
Fortnite's not.
People only care about Fortnite because it ripped off Pubg. Like, let's just be fair.
To be fair, though,
And I like
with
Fortnite.
the announcement of the new Pubg content that's coming out, I really think that
we will get to that shortly. But finally, the most anticipated game, Last of Us Part 2.
Don't know what I was
Not really
going
surprised.
General.
Was that a? Would you like to question that?
No, that's
that
like
winner.
that is
That
exactly
is-
that's the correct
that is bang
correct
on.
answer.
Red Dead 2's latest trailer.
I was about to say, it would either be that or Red Dead 2.
Red Dead 2, if you talk to the average person on the street, they're going to know what Red Dead 2 is and what to expect, kind of thing. Or they would assume so. I think I still am a bit shaky as to the fact that they're doing a prequel, and some of the trailers that they've put out still haven't really hammered home exactly why we're doing this. It's more just I don't know. There's some potential to fill in the backstory of John Marsden and the Vandalin gang and whatever. But I don't know. There's so much that can go wrong with revisiting a game that was so perfectly tied up. And Last of Us 2, for as much as that other trailer kind of put some people off.
No, see, I say that there is
damn good.
much more pressure on Last of Us 2 to succeed than Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it set the bar so
Especially
high.
because how close the sequel is to the first game. Whereas when did Red Dead 1 come out? Was it like 2008?
2010.
Yeah,
2010.
You mean Red Dead Revolver? Or
No, Red Dead Redemption, not
Yeah,
Red Dead
2010,
Revolver. Yeah. Well, so that's our rundown of sort of a couple of the awards. There were loads of them. You can find big lists online. But now we get to the fun stuff. Whoop! There was some big announcements. Some massive stuff. So first off, let's go back to what Jules was talking about. Pubg 1.0, the PC, the official release is the 20th of December this year.
I'll care when I get it on
Which is
console.
going to be great, but I'm going to play it for 2 days and then go home for Christmas. and I don't have a PC at home, so yay.
I'm so curious, like how Pubg is going to land on consoles because it's this phenomenon on PC.
Well, you know what? How it's going to do that is by making sure it's got as much content as possible straight out of the bat, and having the new desert map.
Yeah, that's the thing, because we've got the
Microsoft.
new desert map is out on the test server right now, and I want to go home and play it. Whether the Xbox version gets the desert map or not, I don't know. We haven't seen all the trailers to show off Xbox Pubg hasn't shown the desert map, so it probably won't be in.
I would have said the fact that they did advertise the fact that it was coming to consoles within that trailer suggests that we are going to get it.
Yeah,
soon.
maybe.
Hope so.
I mean, because by the time the Xbox One comes out, which is next Tuesday,
The 12th, yeah.
Yes.
the desert maps still won't be out officially on PC. So I think it will be sort of a staggered thing. It will come out on PC first, and then it will move over to
I wonder
Xbox.
if they do
Maybe.
some shenanigans with it, where it's like if you buy a air quote season pass, you might get early access to it.
I
Because
don't.
They can't
I don't
justify
think they'll
season
do
pass
that.
for that
I
game.
don't
It's one
because it's not a free-to-play game in the first place. I'm guessing the updates will be free.
Yeah.
They've never. I don't think PlayerUnknown Brendan Green has ever said anything about doing paid expansions to the game. Everything is completely free. So we'll wait and see how that goes, and we'll have stuff next week about the Xbox Pubg.
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. Death
Stranding.
Stranding. Let's talk about Death Stranding. We got a Death Stranding trailer, what was the first one in like a year or so.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it's the last Mads
as
Mikkelsen
per
one, yeah.
usual, it is as weird as you'd expect.
It's got a bit more structure to it than the other one did.
It gives you sort of a beginning, middle, end, rather than just throws you into just somewhere.
We have, on the very first trailer, we had Norman Reedus like waking up on the
Stark
beach.
bollock naked.
Yes,
Yeah.
but now we get more of like a, he's definitely the protagonist. He's definitely like loses his teammates. We have more of like an antagonistic force. Straight up Stranger Things with that giant thing in the distance.
Yeah, that
looks
looks
great. Kojima bringing across all of his horror stuff from like
Yeah.
PT, and like you can tell he's had all these ideas like for like horror-based enemies and stuff that he's just bringing in. And you've got this weird narration as to like alternate realities and time and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, whatever this explosion is that he describes in the trailer obviously triggered these weird ghost things. And maybe this whole idea like the afterlife is a thing and whatever. I mean, look, if we're gonna get nerdy about it, which I am, then Death Stranding, the name is a reference to cetacean stranding, which is a real life phenomenon where whole loads of like whales and stuff beach themselves and they all get stuck and they die and no one knows why they do this. So if he's picking this term that is to do with this weird natural phenomenon of like waiting for death, then I think the game is pretty much going to be set in like a limbo state with like
Yeah, that
ghosts
does
and
seem to be
beings.
very
Yeah, it does
popular
sound very
theory
interesting.
online.
Yeah.
So, next up, Fortnite 50v50 mode.
Sure.
Which is a limited time thing. Apparently, it's just more like a reverting the battle royale mode back to kind of what Fortnite was meant to be in the first place.
The thing they
apparently.
initially talked about, yeah.
Yeah. So that's only a limited thing. So it's got people excited, but I'm guessing the hype will die down quite quickly.
I played Fortnite for
kind
Battle
of how
Royale.
how Fortnite did in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting just because if Pubg's
Pubg.
PUBG.
PlayerUnknown's
Pubg.
Battlegrounds is coming next
There you
next
go.
week for Xbox One, yeah. So if people are still invested in Fortnite and they've got, I've got a 50 versus 50 game mode coming out, why should I spend money to buy
Yeah.
PlayerUnknown's? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you would assume that game's going to do big numbers when it comes from PC to consoles.
Yeah.
But if people are invested in Fortnite, which is free, and they're getting new content, which is free, why do they have any reason to sort
Well,
of
I mean-
jump over and take a chance?
Yeah, that first night's figures were like the first night for Fortnite did like 2 million concurrent players. Or 10, it was something
really,
huge.
really big, really big.
And it's like even without any sort of like groundswell of interest or hype or whatever behind Fortnite, it still had a massive
Oh, yeah.
surge.
It's done very well. There's no disputing that. But we'll see how that pans out against PUBG next week. A Way Out, the split screen
Now,
game thingy.
Yeah.
again, I'm really excited for this. I really am, but I need to play it. Like it's
Yeah,
one of those things
that's
that,
true.
like
It's all pretty much been gameplay that we've seen, and it does look really interesting.
Because,
I'm
like,
not gonna lie.
like when you have to control like two players or you do the split screen stuff like in Brothers.
Yes.
Like,
I
that
like
was
Brothers.
that was
Yeah.
fantastic, and so I really do trust that they're going to do a good job with this. But the problem with it is, can they do enough within a prison setting to make it seem interesting?
Well,
and
that's what
exciting all the
they're
time?
showing now is that you play as them before they go to prison, during prison, and
Yeah.
after prison, and like
There is this big narrative. I don't know exactly how it plays out between them, but it is a lot bigger than I think what we've initially seen. But I forgot that the bloke who's behind it is just a real arse.
he is
Like-
he's gaming's Max Landis.
He's
becoming gaming's Max
when he
Landis.
came out at E3 at EA,
And I like
I just
Max Landis.
thought, you are such an annoying bastard. And then they showed the trailer and it just cuts over to him, and it's like, hey, it's oh, f***'s sake, it's you
Oh,
again.
he's all right. He just
I'd
believes in
rather-
his game.
But there is
We don't need another Peter.
There is
Molyneux.
one thing that
we
was
don't,
really
but
interesting is that
hell of a spectrum.
if you're playing this, because you can play it online, because I think there was a worry that you could only play it locally.
Yeah.
You can play it online, and he confirmed that you only need one copy to play it online with somebody.
That's interesting.
So, do
Good.
you remember DS download play back in the day? Kind of like that. So, if your mate has it and you want to play it with him on PS4 or Xbox or whatever, you can essentially download the full game from them.
Far Cry 4 did
And
this as well.
you can play it with them,
Oh, yeah.
which
You
is
do the
really
co-op.
cool. Full game, no limitations. Just one of you needs to buy it, and you can both play it.
I think that'll half their sales, but it's a good idea.
But I think it's a good way to say, hey, we made this really great game. We just want you to play
Just
it.
play it.
Like we don't want to try and squeeze you dry, which is weird for a game being published by EA.
Well, it's good because have you ever tried to convince someone else to buy a game so they can play it with you? Because it's hard.
Yeah, I've already got it.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
So good for them on that. Next up, a bit of a weird one: the World War Z game.
I did not know nor care about this, and
I love the
I
book.
just-
Don't
I
care
just-
about the movie.
I've not
it's way
seen the
too
film.
late,
I
surely.
absolutely adore
Zombies
the
in it.
book.
Yeah.
It's gonna. I saw it and I thought, right, okay, they're doing another zombie game while we're still in the development cycle for
Days
Days
Gone.
Gone.
Do you know why?
Which I've completely lost all excitement for. When I first saw that, I was really excited, and now I couldn't.
I
couldn't
have a
care
feeling
less.
that the only reason that World War Z is in production at all is because someone looked at Days Gone's tech and went, hey, they're doing floods of hordes of zombies. That was our thing.
They didn't show any
can do
gameplay,
that.
but I feel like it's going to be a multiplayer, open worldy kind of thing potentially. I'm not sure. If they just made it a linear game, it's like, okay, we've already got one of these.
gosh, you really need to do quite a lot in this day and age to make your zombie game seem interesting. And
You need to just take a break
having
from it now.
having a title of a movie that was okay.
I would think more to the book.
Go read the book.
Such a legacy.
The book is very, very good.
You say that, but in like the trailer itself had like recreated settings from the film. So I mean, I would love it if they drew from the book.
If they just tell me, go, hey, it's a tie-in game for the film that came out like 2 years ago, we'll be like,
I mean,
unless it's a licensing issue, like they literally just only had to do something with the license now to hold on to it, maybe.
The thing is, like, what I want from a World War Z game would be exploring the philosophy behind it. Like, I love all that stuff behind when they try and decide who's worth sacrificing to stem the tide of the zombies. Like, that is nowhere in the movie. And it's like they take the most, like, oh, so we're just against hordes of zombies then. Like, that's what the game seems to be going for, which
so we all
really
agree.
World War Z.
World War Z, Game of the Year 2018.
What, is it not going to be Spyro the Dragon? Do you want to get something else from 1997 while we're in?
If they do a remastered edition, yeah, it will be.
I mean, Devil May Cry HD will be released, obviously.
Oh yeah, it will be. Yeah, true.
Okay, next
remasters on new games apparently.
I can't wait until Death Stranding comes out and he says he hates it.
Yep.
Okay.
And then loves it from
New title from Software.
Yes.
What's it? They posted up a thing saying like
there's a short clip.
Die Twice.
Shadows Die Twice.
Shadows Die Twice.
I don't think that's what the game's going to be.
I think most people are theorising that this is Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
But there's not. There's very little to go on.
I'll give you two things.
Didn't they already confirm that Bloodborne 2 is in the works anyway?
No. So what is out there was a leaked screenshot from a presentation that was months ago, maybe last year, that showed Bloodborne 2 on a big logo, and some guy was like, oh, I was in a conference and I saw this, and then was like, oh, whatever, and that never went any further. And then we have this weird image that we got in the Game Awards, which shows like a bone, like a biological construct with a weird cog through the middle of it, which reminds me of all the transforming weapons from Bloodborne. And there are some bosses in that are weird, like messes of biology and machinations of stuff. So I think it's that. I think it's Bloodborne 2. But why keep it that vague unless something's going to be announced at PSX?
I was going to say, PlayStation Experience is tonight, so tomorrow morning for us at 4 a.m. So expect some stuff from us next week. So a few quick things. Vacation Simulator from the guys who did Job Simulator, which will be really fun and really silly. I want to get VR, really do. In the Valley of the Gods from the creators of Firewatch.
The only reason I care is because it's Camposanto. Like the trailer looked kind of generic. At this stage, I love walking simulators or whatever the hell you want to call them, but we've had 4 years of them now. And it's like, do something.
It could be something different. I'm not. I haven't watched the trailer, but Breath of the Wild DLC 2, motorbikes and stuff.
Yeah,
he's a happy boy. He's a happy boy.
That's bringing across from Mario Kart 8. But I mean, the size of that expansion is just. I'm dying. I'm elated on the inside. I'm dying to play it. It's just that it's more Zelda. It's more of the best game. It's gorgeous. I played some this morning. Woke up, turned it on, downloaded it. I had to play some. It's f***ing awesome. God damn it, Zelda's so good.
Switch exclusive Bayonetta 3.
Fantastic.
Sure.
Yeah, glad to see that series continue. Really, really fun. But
interesting. It's still
I don't have a Switch.
No,
but then again, that's reason to go buy a Switch. I want to Switch as well. And finally, one of the things that, as much as I'm not really a fan of this series, even though I wasn't expected to hear about it, Soul Calibur 6.
I'm a fan.
Has been announced.
Really excited about
I wish
this.
they would rein in the boobs. I mean, I like boobs,
There's
but they're
so much
huge.
boobs in the trailer.
It's ridiculous.
There was actually minimal boobs, guys. Come on. From Soul Calibur 5's Soul Calibur 4's egregious marketing campaign of just literally just some tits.
Yeah.
This has reined it right the in. And to be fair, I love what they've done with the combat system mechanics. They're changing. There seem to be chain parrying and things like that.
Which like dodges, like really specifically timed dodges.
Yeah, and that
really cool.
technically was in sort of like in Soul Calibur 3. I think they added in like some weird little sidestep stuff. But
it looked more of an animation.
It looked much more ingrained into the actual fighting mechanics.
More fighting games from Namco.
Yeah, always good.
And
a new character reveal at the very end. A very thin-looking character with a dual blade.
Man, I didn't go all the way through the trailer.
I'm not sure if that's a character that's been in there that's been revamped, or they didn't show the face or anything. It was literally just a side shot of the body. So
we can throw it on screen.
Any new characters, the best. Anything that plays like Darth Maul, bring it on.
So there you go. That was all the stuff that was announced at the Game Awards last night, as well as the winners of said awards. What do you think about who won? Do you think other games should have taken the accolades? And what do you think about the stuff that was announced? What are you excited for? And what are you wanting to see tomorrow night at the PlayStation Experience?
Bloodborne 2,
Bloodborne Spyro remaster, I'm guessing, is going to be the big
Crash
one.
Team Racing.
Crash Team Racing.
Come on.
Racing.
And you'll hear about that next week. So there we go. Like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to tune in next week for more stuff about PlayStation and Pubg and things like that. As always, I've been Rich.
I've been Scott.
I've been Jules.
I've been Josh.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe below, and if you're looking for more content like this, then try a few things that are floating about around my ears. Might be fun. I can't promise it though, but it might be.